Hi there. Here's a really quick tutorial to show you how to tap a hole into a piece of plastic. Today I'm going to use this plastic horn here, which mounts onto a servo motor, like so. And we can use the horn, these holes in the horn, to, for example, grab onto something that you might laser cut on, or 3D print. So this is a great way to add functionality to a servo motor. So we're going to show you how to tap holes into that horn right now. So the reason, there are two types of holes. One is a through hole and one is a tapped hole. And the through hole is just that. Here's a 440 screw. If we wanted a through hole, for example, the center hole is a through hole, the screw just goes right through it. Okay, and you don't need a tool to drive it in. But in this case, we would like to take one of these holes here and tap, cut threads into the plastic so that you can then take the 440 with the tool and screw it in so it bites and grabs onto the plastic, sort of like a nut. If you use a through hole, you have to then put a nut on the other side, and sometimes that's what you want, and sometimes it's not. So today what we want to do is tap that hole. And so there are a couple things you're going to need. You're going to need a drill bit of the right size. You're going to need, of course, a tap. In this case, this is a 440 tap. It's a tapered head, so it's nice and easy to go in. And we're going to, I'm going to show you how to do that now. Okay, so remove all of the little other horns that we don't need. Okay, so I've chosen this bit here, and you can see why in this little diagram. I know I want a 440 tap, so this is the tap clearance for screw size number 4. This is 40 threads per inch, so we call it a 440. And then I'm going to be tapping into plastic, so I want a 75% thread, and that means I need a number 43 drill, or the diameter of the drill is given here. So 43 drill is what we're going to use. And so I'm just going to load that into my drill here. Okay, and now what the holes I'm going to be using are these here in the middle. That one right there, and then there, and there, and there. All 4 holes around. And there are switches on the drill. Okay, so the little arrow shows you that it's going in. So we want that to be depressed, because when you drill, you want to go into the thing. And then we're going to put the drill here. You want to make sure you're wearing safety glasses. You might even want to put this in a vise so that your hands aren't close to the drill. You need to hold this piece really firmly if you are going to drill it with your hands. And then you want to make sure that the drill is going in at a right angle. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to crank it on. That's it. So it goes all the way through. You can see the threaded pieces. The material has come off there. And then a lot of people think you need to then reverse the direction, make the drill come back out again. But because it's a drill and this is essentially a through hole there, we're just going to continue to drill in that direction and just gently pull the drill out. Like so. Okay? So now we have a much larger hole, but it's still it's not big enough for this to be a through hole. If you don't have a tap, and taps are expensive, and they're also fragile, so you have to be careful with them. But if you don't have a tap, you can probably, with plastic such as this, you can probably find a drill bit that's just right so that you can kind of cut the threads with your screw if you're in a bind. They also make self-tapping screws, so you can buy those if you don't want to go with the tap method. But for my students, I want them to use the tap. The tap, like I said, is fragile. Even though it's made of metal, it is brittle, and it will break if it's dropped onto a floor or onto a table. And also, if you wrench it around when it's inside the piece, it's going to snap off right there. So I'm just going to put the tap into here, tighten up the drill. Okay, we find the hole that we're going to be using, and this time the direction really is important. We want it to be in. We want to click that button so that it is driving into the material. So again, I want to keep the drill bit at right angles to the material, and then I'm just going to turn it on. We want to stop before it gets to the fluted part here. We want to stop after the threads are cut, and then I'm going to flip it over, flip the drill over, and now I press this button, which has the back arrow. So I'm going to reverse the direction of the drill by pressing that button down. Okay, and then I'm going to hold here very firmly, and now it's going to be backing out like so. All right, and so now if we clear off the hole, now we have a hole that is tapped. Now with our hands, we can tap it in there, and the screw stays in the tapped hole. And that way we can have through holes here, so our screws can go through this material. Okay, and then it can then tap, or it can bite into the tap on the other side, and that will hold the wooden piece to our plastic horn. Okay, when you're done, you want to put all the materials back. Again, being very, very careful that the tap is not dropped, and we always store our taps in these little boxes. They're very expensive pieces, more expensive than you might imagine, but make sure it goes back in the right tap container. If you are doing multiple holes, you want to make certain that you don't do a double tap. That if you had drilled out all 4 of these holes, you want to go in order. You want to keep a nice count, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you try to tap a hole a second time by mistake, you will ruin the threads, and it's unlikely that it will work for you. So, sorry that was kind of disjointed, but you get the idea, I hope, and we'll see you next time.